In this video, I'm going to be making a huge clone base plus a huge battle happening between the droid and the clone army. But there's a twist. I can only use minifigures and sets that were made in 2007 and earlier. Let's get started. So if you guys didn't grow up on YouTube watching like Lego Star Wars The Clone Wars bases and like all those mocks back in the day, this was like the main building style for clone bases. So they'd try and make them as like big as possible, and then they get a whole bunch of 2x4s and then stack them like this. So I'm going to be using this technique. It's not really a technique, or just a style to be building the main bulk of my base. So I'm super excited to get started. But we have a couple more things to do before we get to the actual building. So we're going to come on over here to my minifigure, just the bulk of my Clone Wars minifigures. So 2007. So when we think of 2007, these were the clone troopers that were used back in the day. Were these old styled episode 3 clone troopers with the open visor. So I have a whole bag of those guys. And as well, we have some of the classic 2002 clone troopers that look like this too. So I will be using some of these guys as well as a whole bunch of the episode 3 ones. So mainly just open visor clone troopers. All right, now we gotta choose our Jedi generals. I don't have too many Jedi here in my collection that are 2007 or earlier, but I do have some cool ones, which I will show in just a second. All right, guys, so here are the Jedi that I have that fit the theme of this build. So we have the original Yoda, episode 2 Anakin, episode 2 Obi-Wan, as well as the light up Luminara and Mace Windu. And I think I'm gonna go with both of the light up Jedi. I think that will just look super cool in the mock. They're super rare, expensive, and I just think they would look great together in this mock. So these are the 2 Jedi. So we're gonna get rid of these guys. And these are the 2 Jedi I'm gonna go use for this mock. So we have our Republic army right here. We have our Jedi generals, Mace Windu and Luminara. We have the layout of the base. We have our vehicles. I almost forgot to include these, the 2007 battle pack builds, the turrets and the speeder bikes. And I will be doing the droid army later. As you can see, there's a whole bunch bagged up. I'll be doing those once we have completed the clone base and whatnot. So it's time to get building. Guys, so I pretty much just finished the front wall. As you can see, I went with the classic design like I said I would, and this is the front doorway where the infantry and the swamp speeder will be coming out of. So a pretty nice little archway. I added some old light gray just to like break up the dark gray. I think it would have just looked pretty stale and boring if I did everything in dark gray. And the clone bases back in the day weren't like super detailed with like tons of building techniques or anything. They're really just bricks and things like that. So it looks pretty nostalgic to me so far. It looks like something I'd definitely make back in the day. But as you can see, it's a pretty good size for a couple minifigures. Swamp Speeder comes through nicely as well. All right, so just a quick little update for you guys. I built this big like garage, I want to say, this big opening where the turbo tank can roll in and out, just like a hangar door essentially. So that's looking pretty nice. I added just a little bit of detail, not too much, but just some like maroon tiling right there, as well as right here at the other doorway. So this is coming along pretty nice so far. All right, so I've been building a lot since the last little update. I made this custom little turret. Looks like something I would make back in the day with my clone bases. I walled off the sides right here. I made an armory. As you can see, I already placed a couple of minifigures. So they're grabbing their helmets and their weapons and all that good stuff. Right here's the medic bay. I made some like red crosses, looking pretty cool. I added a little stretcher right there for the wounded, along with these back to tanks, a little computer right there. And then right here, I made a little, this is basically the hangar bay. I made a little like stand for like the V-wing, stairway going up to it, and then a fuel pump right there. But that looks pretty cool. So this is pretty much it for the base. I mean, nothing too complicated. It definitely looks like a classic clone base, if you ask me. So yeah, I'm super excited to get to the battlefield, adding all the minifigures, and then we're gonna wrap this bad boy up. Now that we have completed adding our entire clone army that is going to be defending the base, it is time to switch over to the opposing side and add the droid army, of course, only using sets that came out between the years 1999 and 2007. Guys, I finally completed the entire battle. I don't want to show the droid side yet, but we're gonna quickly go through all the little details and stuff. So starting back here, like I already showed, the armory, a bunch of clone troopers grabbing their gear, pretty cool. Over here we have the medic bay. As you can see, there's like red crosses. We got a couple clones carrying this guy on a stretcher. This guy is operating the back to tanks. Over here we have kind of the hangar bay. We have a couple bark speeders, fuel pump, V-wing getting prepped for launch. Pretty cool stuff. And then right here we have Mace Windu and the 327th Commander, just discussing the battle, whatnot. Over here we have a whole bunch of, not a whole bunch, but like 8 327th troopers marching into battle, along with this swamp speeder with the 442nd clone troopers. Over here we have the 2005 clone turbo tank with a recon trooper on the tower. Right here we have this clone pilot manning the turret, and then we have 5 shock troopers on top of the base in sniper position. Right here we have the 2002 Republic gunship with a whole bunch of the classic Phase 1 clone troopers, along with a custom commander that I have, and then the light up Luminara in there. So that looks super cool. I'm so glad I got this custom commander, and that whole interior of the gunship with all those clones looks super cool. And then here we have the entire main force up front, a couple of the classic turrets right there. We have the swamp speeder, of course, right there. We have a couple clones on the bark speeders, and just a whole bunch fighting. This is basically just the first wave of clone troopers defending the base. We have the classic Kashyyyk scout trooper on his bark speeder right here, and then the classic clone walker. So this is the entire fighting force for the Republic right here. This looks absolutely killer. I love the way this turned out. Sorry if I'm breathing really hard, I'm kind of out of breath. And then over here is the entire droid force. So we have, of course, the awesome 2007 MTT, a couple of the 2007 Hailfire droids in the back, getting ready to launch those missiles. We have 4 of the droid battle pack carriers with their stab speeders right here, as you can see. So a whole bunch of droid reinforcements, basically extra droids being deployed for battle. And then we have 2 lines of super battle droids, and then more lines of just normal B1 battle droids. And then we have some dwarf spider droids right here. And also I really wanted to include these classic sand red Geonosian battle droids, as you can see in the front lines. These are like some of my favorite droids of all time, so I just really thought it would be cool to include them in the MOC. And then right here we have the classic Count Dooku leading the battle for the droids, and some of those security guard battle droids that came in the MTT. So yeah, guys, that is the entire MOC. This is pretty much the first large-scale MOC that I've done on my channel, and I thought it turned out pretty good. I wanted to do a classic video like this for such a long time, because I've been just going on eBay and stuff and buying a whole bunch of the classic vehicles and clones and droids, and I finally did it, and I'm pretty proud of what I made. But yeah, so let me know what you guys thought of this whole battle / MOC down in the comments. I'm super glad I finally completed it, and it looks absolutely stunning, better than I thought it would turn out. But I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.